Gasp! But the park rangers showed us why they're the worst. Alright, there's 35 people in here and 34 in the audience. It makes me sad. Somebody actually has that license plate. Oh, I should go off duty. Go off duty. Maybe if I get unemployed, I'll get a paycheck. Be up here. Look out this window. Nobody can see me, but I'm up here. Chilling. Oh, I can't look up that license plate number. I can't remember who it was that had that plate.
We'll wait a few more minutes. Have people start rolling in.
I logged off. Well, I didn't log off. Yeah. I clocked off duty. Oh, let me get off the radio too so they don't interrupt. Turn this off. I was in there assaulting Dallas. Can I stand on this? Oh, God. You didn't do that. I'll make a screen here. Listen, we are starting on time today. Yeah, Mr. McGarland. You. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna sit up here. Interesting. You can see where I'm at. Look at that. Impressive.
I don't know why I'm quiet suddenly.
Hopefully I don't pass out from starvation or anything. That would be embarrassing. Let's read our town hall chat. We'll try and pull it up. Primary. There we go. Get that. Now you can see it. Don't listen from the paycheck. No, I don't want to be on duty and then have. Gonna put your cookies in the oven. I need to go potty, man. Fuck. I'm a little bit upset because my bubble tea tastes a little bit like grass. And it's not good. And I'm upset. see some town hall topics.
Hey, Sunderland, am I still quiet?
Do I like the GIF? Yes. Yes, I did. I like cookies. Yum, 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 yum. I'm so cold right now. I'm sad that today's Sunday.
Give a couple, 2 more minutes, and we'll start.
How many people are in here? 62? This is sad. Is the server still up? I don't even. Yeah, I'm in here. I'll just turn Gunny up. Oh, yes, all the way up. I want a GIF. Watch this. There we go. Aw, how come it didn't show up? I'm sad. I don't know. I'm so sad. That is a common trend. I think most of the people that put in town hall topics are Jose Fernandez, Sunderland, Hollis, Jose. Oh, there's Mr. Delfonso. He's probably in jail still. Uh, I guess they're not.
All right, well, we'll get started. Thanks for showing up. This is our monthly
This
town hall
is
meeting. Uh,
really
not a lot
sad.
of
Showing.
suggestions put in this month. Pretty much kind of the same thing as always. We get the
Oh,
cops
Mr.
and
Fernandez.
crime stuff, which we don't really speak about because it's just a topic that happens every town hall meeting. But we'll go through some of the topics. For Jenny Junsar, the medical RP, the realistic of it. She brought up a good point. We had a court case a couple weeks ago that we needed the medical reports for. It was a gunshot victim, and the report was kind of lackluster, shall I say? So, uh, you know, I think the person went in and said they scraped their knee or something. Make it more realistic, especially if you're going to go to court. You're going to try to use those for your side or the defendant side. It helps out both sides either way. So make it realistic. Also, if you get shot, you get healed at by Nancy or by EMS. You're not going to get up and start running out of the hospital. We see it all the time. It's kind of crappy. So keep in mind, you just got shot. You're not going to start running out of the hospital in 5 seconds after being healed. and make sure you give EMS their RP too. Involve them also. They're just not there just to bandage you up and you be on your way. Give them something to RP off of also. Give them some surgeries. Give them some follow up appointments or something. Give them something. They're just not here to heal the server and put you on your way to go rob more banks or regular people go skydiving 24/7. Uh, Indigo, are you here?
am.
You want to talk about the what we discussed earlier?
Yeah. So this is going into what Farkle said. Lately, what's been happening is we're getting back into thing where somebody's car will like break down or flip, and cops will be around like pointing guns and tasers, or they'll just in general be there. So if that's happening, get out and run. Don't just stand there and flip your car because somebody's pointing a gun at you, they're pointing a taser at you. You need to have that fear aspect. So if you could, your best bet is to run. And honestly, we lose people all the time on foot chases. So just make sure you think about that realism. And that goes with also refueling as well. And that's really it. Farkle explained it really well.
I seen
And
it firsthand. Sorry to cut you off. I seen it
yeah,
firsthand where a criminal has told a cop not to go over and investigate where a house robbery, where his boy is robbing a house. Like that's just dumb. Don't go do your job. What?
I've
yeah,
also, I've also seen cops they're just patrolling neighborhoods and they roll onto someone's turf and next thing you know they're getting shot at just because they're just patrolling. They're not investigating anything or anything. People are just running up to them, asking why they're there, and start shooting. It's stupid. You're just asking for trouble then. And getting pulled over for a speeding ticket, you're going to pay a $200 ticket, but then you decide just you want to run because you're bored or you think they would have fun. Then you get a bunch of other charges. You know, People get pulled over all the time for speeding tickets. Just take the ticket and go. Don't have them go on a cop or on a chase because you're bored or you want the adrenaline rush or you think they're bored. Give them, let them do their ticket and be on your way.
I noticed some people are like, why would we fear cops? Natalie said this. Do you want us to just start shooting you guys? We can. It's not conductive to RP. There's a lot of times we can shoot people, but we want to RP.
Yeah, and I know we G says this all the time. You need to fear the cops. You guys see, oh, there's only 20 cops online, but you got to think, there's hundreds of cops online. And I know you guys don't. You guys bring that up at time. How we're supposed to think this. Well, yeah, you're supposed to because that's what it's supposed to be. But there's only 4 or 5 cops online, so you guys just pretty much kind of shit on them here and there. You know, be mindful and respectful. They're trying to do their RP and their job, but you guys are just you taking advantage of the low numbers. But you're always supposed to think there's hundreds of them online. Patrolling the city. Hostages. We know people. Some people don't mind being taken hostage. Other people they hate it. If you're one of the people that don't like being taken hostage, don't ruin it for the people. The people that took you hostage. Don't sit there and start talking shit to them and just being disruptive and degrading them. They're doing their RP. They have to have a hostage do their job. Just take it, roll with the punches. If you're going to sit there and start talking shit to them, they're going to kill you. You're not fearing for your life. You know, or you're the people. If there's other people there with you, you're just going to get shot. Then you're going to be useless. Then most likely you'll be pulled in. We'll get a ticket that you didn't fear for your life. You just sat there and started talking crap. Uh, And then for us, we've had so much NVL lately. It's been kind of ridiculous that if you get pulled into ticket for NVL, it's an automatic 24 because we're not going to stand for it anymore because it's getting out of control and out of hand. I'd probably say on a daily basis we get 4 or 5 tickets of people NVLing or we consider NVL.
Too late.
So be mindful. Fear if a gun's to your head. Even if it's down by the cop side or by the criminal side, the gun's pulled out, the gun's out. You're not going to start running with the gun pointed at you, or even they're sitting there talking to you. So fear for that. And also another issue we're having combat logging. You get down, people are logging out, then logging back in because they either don't want to wait for the timer, to be life flighted to pillbox, or you don't want to wait for EMS to show up. That used to be a 3 day automatic 3 day. Now we're putting it up to an automatic 7 day just because there is so much of it going on. You guys don't look or realize, but we can see when people are down, when they fly out, fly in. So it's, and also we get it from people reporting you guys for it. You know, because you're ruining their RP. They're in the middle of the scene. You vanish and then don't return, or you return but you return to a different place other than where the current scene is. So keep in mind and be respectful for people for that. Um, Also, I know this has been brought up with staff. We've talked about it probably 3 4 times. I think uh, you know people are using hyper cars, $1 million cars and bank heists and robberies and stuff. Uh, they're not made to be used in those. We've been. I think G has said you know talked about banning class. I think it's S pluses and S's. I'm not sure. Is that Marlo? S or just S plus?
Um, I don't know if it's been set in stone yet. So
Yeah, we haven't set in stone. It's been talked about several times. If we, it's just being abused. Who's going to use $1 million, Bugatti to, go rob a bank? They're in reality Bugattis and stuff. They're limited cars. They only make certain amount. You put a fake plate on it. You can investigators can still investigate. There's only so many Bugattis in the world. They can find out whose it
I
is.
mean, you can drive the shit out of your car all you want, and one day you're just gonna wake up and that car's just not gonna start anymore because how much mileage is on it. So
Yeah. Also, another issues, exploiting stuff in the city.
that's because the Sultan is broken, and that's not broken by us. You can thank Rockstar Games for that. If you go into their files and check how much values you put an engine on these cars, it's like plus 400. All we can do is hope that people are going to report these things and not abuse them, but it gets more abused than reported.
Yeah, then you guys wake up, use that car, and it's not doing what you want it to do. You guys open up tickets saying, this car is broken. It's not broken. We've noticed that it's been abused. Marlo, go back in, change it to what it should be within our city. Like people are saying, nerf it. Yes, we're nerfing the cars because it's getting heavily abused. Like that. The old Ford Raptor thing went 280 miles an hour. You know, eventually Marlo put out, if you own it, don't use it. Don't pull it out. Leave it in the garage. Um, so yeah, if anything's being exploited like that, report it. There's other game mechanics within the city that lately have been exploited. Uh, you know, Instead of reporting it, they just kept doing it and doing it. And we found out about it, and they denied it. But we have raw logs and records. report it. You're not going to get in trouble if you report it. Hey, I found this happened. I don't think this is right. Is it? Then we'll tell you yes or no. Thanks for reporting it. You're not going to get in trouble. Just let us know about it. Don't be afraid. If money's more, greed's more important than your RP, then this isn't the place for you. Also, abusing items. You know, something that Jeep brings something into the city, it gets abused. Like pig farming was being abused. Everybody and their brothers was doing it because it was a quick way to make money. After a while, G started, the payout started going down, and down, and then finally people stopped doing it because it wasn't the payout that they wanted. There's other things within the city that G has removed. Payouts have gotten smaller just because everybody is just doing it and abusing it. If that's all your RP is about, like I said, is about the money. Maybe you need to look at your RP and find something else out. Also, Discord names. If you don't have your name as your Discord, please change it. That's how we as staff find you, or how or how PD or the court system, if they need to reach out to you for something, that's how we find you. We get tickets open up. Hey, I can't find this person. We have to go through and take our time out to try to find you because you have a court date, or PD has something they want to talk to you about, or whatever. I don't know how PD does it, but you know, change it to help us out, to save us the headache and trouble trying to always find people. I know some people know about this, some people don't. We had a meeting with the gangs probably about 2 3 weeks ago, maybe. We talked about upping a couple of the jobs from 4 people to 6. Last night, staff sat down and uh, went over the rules, changed them. They are not in effect yet. Uh, we got to get PD situated and go over how they are going to handle the 6-man jobs. Uh, so once that's figured out, we will revise the rules, post them uh, for those 2 specific jobs, and PD will know how to counter them, and so criminals can have more people on for those jobs. Other jobs will stay at 4, so the rule of 4 will still apply. So don't break that rule. Anybody else in staff have anything? No, the rule of 4 isn't changing. The rule of 4 is being changed on 2 jobs. Everything else is not being changed on. It'll still be in effect. And as of right now, the rule of 4 still is in effect for everything until we post it and let everybody know. Uh, yeah, if if EMS is on duty, don't bypass them and go straight to Nancy. Uh, you know, running back and see if they're there, or if you're down, you know, have someone put you in the lobby, have them run back and say, hey, someone's out in the lobby, needs help. Stop. I've seen it before. People will skip EMS to go to Nancy because they just want to hurry up and get revived and go back. Slow roll your time in EMS. Give them the time to role play out, or role play their stuff.
Touching on that a little more too. Um, Going forward, guys, for the hospital, when we're treating patients in the ER room, we are no longer allowing civilians to be back there while we're treating people. You distract the patients. They're more worried about talking to you instead of dealing with us. So, as the hospital, we're not going to allow just 10 people to hang out while we're picking up your friend. Like, you're going to wait in the lobby. You wouldn't be in the ER room realistically anyway.
And also, I know this was brought up. people coming, criminals can coming out of pillbox, they're in police custody. People running up to them, or their buddies, and start uncuffing them as police are escorting them out, or even being nice and letting them walk out of pillbox. People are going up to them, uncuffing them, and then letting them, you know freeing their people, and they're running. That's unrealistic. Cops always have their guns out. They're you guys, I'm not saying this, but EMS or PD is all, not PD. Criminals are always like, they're getting tired of always being shackled where they can't run. PD's letting you guys walk. Have some respect for that aspect of it. Just don't run up to your friends, uncuff them because cops are letting them just walk. Because if not, they're going to be start getting shackled all the time, then it's going to become an issue. So be more aware of that. Yeah, EMS does not have control over Nancy's rates. It's a back end thing. All right, so
More doc.
Yeah, what up? So I first raised my hand because I want to talk on, like, give an example of what the first thing you talked about with people just no valuing to cops and things like that. I don't know if any of the people that experienced it are here, but we had an incident where we breached a house robbery recently. I think it was two officers. I think one had lethal, one had less. And they come in, and the person's just standing inside of the house, looks at the officers and goes, "Oh, guns, cute," and walks by them, completely ignores them, and then runs. It's just getting bad. Nobody cares at all about a cop's RP or anything like that. And it's getting to the point where, honestly, as a cop, there are times and there's certain groups that I just feel like an NPC, and I've stopped caring about RPing with you because you do not care about giving RP with me. And it's gotten to a toxic point in and out of character that just sucks.
Yeah, and that's why we said uh, NVL's now automatic. 24. Then after that, it's going to go up because it's ridiculous. I mean, all the reports we get in a week about NVL or combat logging, it needs to stop. It's plain and simple. You got everyone needs to respect each other. Cops need to respect crims. Crims need to respect cops. We're all here to have fun at the end of the day. Decompress and enjoy each other's company, not to shit on one another.
We don't even want to touch on that too much. It's going to get to a back and forth because it happens on both sides. It's not just cops. It happens on crims. It's not just crims. It's cops as well.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, and I try and check myself and other people, and I mean, it's why we try to tell people, if you got a problem, if you can't solve an RP, open an LEO ticket. I know they read those daily, and trust me, I've had several where I get instantly pulled into a ticket, and they're like, "Hey, what happened?" So they check those, and they do check us on it. Trust me.
Yeah, so like I said, both sides need to respect each other.
Yeah, that's all I really got for what you covered so far. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Allie, I don't think that they're saying just for the guy to surrender in this situation, but just walking by and saying cute guns isn't exactly the greatest RP. Like, that guy could have put his hands up, try to talk out the situation, done something else than just walk by him.
Yeah, like today, I was in a stream. I was watching. Cop had a gun up to the back of the guy, telling him to stop. And what does he do? He just starts running. It's like, cop could have shot him, but he didn't. But that's you're not fearing for the cop. You're not fearing for your life. It needs to. Everyone needs to fear each other. it's not flipping a car not allowed. I mean, if you're in a police chase, you're not going to get out of your car with guns pointed at you and start flipping your car. Or get out and start repairing your car or fueling it like we were talking about. Also, I know, this has been brought up, we're allowing you guys to do, jumps, realistic jumps. But, some of these, some of the jumps that, we've been seeing, from, what's it called? The canals over the gas tanker over two or three sets of highway, that's borderline, or jumping off that parking garage that's 10 stories or whatever down on Great Ocean Boulevard. Just your car would not survive that fall. That's or survive some of that stuff. You got to think about realistically. I've seen cars ramp up the side of a hill and fly over the train station, over two sets of roads and land it. You got to. To me, that's that's the people doing that. They're just trying to they know cops won't follow them, or the cops won't do it, or they'll just keep following them. Then they'll finally end up messing up. Think about what you're doing. See if your car would actually really survive that jump or that fall. Play it out like that.
Guys, we don't want to adjust Nancy either. Like the time when EMS is not on duty, you want to be able to use her and it be a reasonable payout depending on your injury. I think she charges up to $400. If we increase the cost of that, you guys are just going to complain that you just get wrecked all the time when EMS isn't around. Be patient, wait for EMS. If we're on duty, we will get to you.
Hey, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but the whole flipping car thing, it's kind of nuts to me how that's still confusing to people. You flip your car in the middle of a chase, you got cops running after you to arrest you, you book it. You don't sit there and try to flip a car. If you have a hostage near you, try to take the hostage, right? Something. But you should be in fear of not getting arrested. That's just my thought.
And no, that wasn't a trade-off. And I'm not saying you guys can't do jumps. I'm saying be realistic with them. You're not going to fly your car 300 yards, in the air to get away, and your car's going to survive, or fall off a 10-story building with your car, and it survived. Be more realistic. We're not saying you can't do the jumps. We're just saying be more realistic. That's what we allowed you guys to jump, but make sure they're realistic. I mean, we've had people open up tickets and go, "Hey, is this jump allowed?" And we're like, "Yes or no." If you're unsure, ask.
I just realized my hand was still up in all this, but I know one thing that we've noticed a lot also with the chases is it's not just like the unrealism of jumps, it's the frequency or the timing of jumps. We've had chases where literally, not to call this person out because normally they're not that bad, but we've had people that will drive 30 miles per hour for a minute or two to have the chase go on, and then hit one single jump that they know is next to impossible, and if they hit it perfect, they're guaranteed to get away. Or people that do nothing but hit the same jump repetitively until it breaks cops and you get away. It's just abusing a mechanic because it can work, and it's really old and predictable and kind of starting to feel stale as shit. Honey, can you put my hand down and let exhale in?
What up, y'all?
So,
So I just wanted to talk about Natalie's topic. So this isn't cop versus crim stuff, whatever. This is all just crim on crim stuff. So the crim on crim stuff, gains, MCs, whatever, it's been god awful lately. I won't even lie. Like there's a lot of situations where gains or MCs, whatever, don't want to act like gains or MCs. More so in the sense of they start issues and then you respond to the issues, and then all of a sudden people are like, "Nah, I don't want to fight. I got better things to do. I'm too broke. We don't have guns. We don't have cars. We don't have houses, whatever." Even just like random solo people, essentially, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't even have a block or nothing." And I'm like, I don't care if you're not in a
What up,
gang,
trailer
anything like that.
trash?
You fucked with me, I'm gonna fuck with you. So there's that big thing Marlo keeps mentioning with people not accepting the consequences of what they do in RP. And that is happening a lot. The biggest thing that it makes me upset with it and just straight up makes it not fun at all whatsoever is all these a lot of the newer gains and MCs, and then specifically like some of the older ones even, they just are like, "Oh, I want to be a gang, I want to be a MC, I want to be a career criminal." And then they got their whole group, but then all of a sudden they get into an issue and they're like, "Oh, nah, that's not what we do." Like, no, that is what you do. You're a gang, you're an MC. Go take care of your stuff and accept what you did. And then I know I was talking about it a lot yesterday in other chats and stuff, like the group discussion. It's not so much it always has to go towards a war, but like when things like that are a big, I guess you'd say when it's the best option, people just do all they can to get away from it. So that's just one thing with it. Some other stuff, though, specifically with all this Coke stuff that's happened recently, uh, we've mainly seen that nobody at all is scared of other gains. And I know my group was definitely part of it at first. And then when I really realized it was an issue, was walking into the little Coke lab, showing somebody what's up after making a little business deal. And then there's literally like 15 fucking people in there just having a little happy Coke making circle. And you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Nobody fucking cares at all. And as soon as somebody tries to like go regulate some stuff like that within RP, everybody's first initial thought is, oh, they just think they're cool because they can try and run things within the city and they can just bully everybody and nobody sees the role play aspect for what it really is. Like everybody just automatically assumes that they're getting bullied and pushed around, and it's just getting really fucking annoying, and it's making being a criminal acting with other groups not fun even at all.
Those are all good points, and like I'm gonna step in, and like I've seen even like nobody's even fear, like not even like they're staying in their colors and shit, but they're not acting when they're going into buildings like that, when it's supposed to be like more quiet, and then people are talking too much.
What?
Like talking too much, as in like talking too much about their day and shit.
I mean, yeah, there is like people are in there, they're gonna talk, but it's more so you can't even really take the opportunity. Like if somebody ran up in there and robbed every single fucking person in there and found out who it was, whatever, they just automatically assume that, oh, this person thinks they're cool and can take over everything or go run stuff or whatever. Like, nah, nobody fears getting robbed in those spots, anything at all, because they're like everybody's kind of on the, oh, it makes too much money page. Like, I don't want to ruin that for everybody. There's no fucking, nah, it's not hard when you're stuck in an animation when the entire criminal side of the city is inside of a coke lab making coke. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous, honestly. A lot of these gangs that want to be gangs or just recently have formed just shouldn't be. You don't gotta be a gang to go do crime with your friends. If you can't handle gang shit, don't be a fucking gang. What Savage said, they are and they aren't way too nice to each other. So the only thing that makes them nice to each other is exactly what I just said, because whenever people get an issue, they just pussyfoot around it and don't ever accept the consequences, and they want the easiest way out instead of fighting it out or whatever may need to happen and having a actual resolution. And Jose, you bringing up all these rules right here, that's like, yeah, that's a rule, but when literally everybody is doing that shit and that's all that there is in the lab, you're in a lab making coke. You could sit there and be like, every single step of the process is you're in an animation. Yeah, you're in an animation. If you get robbed, you get robbed. So what? Should have had people sitting there watching at the door with shotguns or something. Nobody at all thinks about these things at all. You all just sit
Hey,
here and fight on rules and
Excel.
all that.
That's unfortunately not true, brother. Staff had a long talk about it. It's one of the reasons I believe it's gone. It was noticed. It was brought to everybody's attention. I will speak to you directly on what we talked about on some of the things as well is the friendliness of the gangs, especially in a coke lab. The thing that really stuck out to me is civilians that have no gang ties at all pushing hundreds of thousands of dollars of cocaine, whatnot. That should never be a thing. Any gang inside of a coke lab that has a burger shot employee walk in or a mechanic that is not affiliated with any group should not be in that lab. You should do your best to get rid of that individual. That being said, the groups are friendly. They're friendly when they're picking the leaves. They're friendly when they're mixing the stuff. They're friendly when they're distributing it. They run into each other right on top of each other, selling to the same guy. That should not be happening. I'm not encouraging you or telling you to rob anybody you run into at all times, but at the same time, you need to start pressing each other and saying, yo, we're picking right now. You need to get the fuck off this field, or there's going to be a problem. And if there
See,
is a
but
problem, you come back.
that's the thing though. Like people are gonna, as soon as something happens, when there's that many people in on it, they're just gonna go immediately to rules and be like, how can I fuck this person the hardest out of the city because they fucked me in the city when it shouldn't even be happening in the first place.
Yeah, it shouldn't get to that level, right? At the end of the day, you're all here to RP and have fun, right? It shouldn't turn into who broke what rule, guys. Um, play it out like your character would. If it, if for example your group is in the fields with 6, 7 members, right, and I roll up alone, I'm not going to sit there and pretend I'm going to be comfortable picking leaves with you, right? I'm going to drive away, scout the area, and come back when it's clear, or come back with 10 people or whatnot, right? We can either talk it out or it could go to something else. So that's the realism that should happen. I'm not telling anybody to tax or police the area, and be mindful when I say 10 people. I'm not, you see, you guys tend to do this and read into it. I'm not saying you engage with 10 people, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. But not everything has to end up in a gunfight. Things could be talked, right? Groups can be pressed. Um, and there's other ways around this, but you shouldn't be standing inside of each other in the coke labs and picking leaves together and all the other crazy shit that we see.
So I got that part out of the way now, but there's also another big issue that's extremely annoying. People going in preaching God tier RP and how everything's for their character and stuff outside of the city when they make topics and talk about stuff, and then just go be a hypocrite and mauled whenever things don't go their way in the city and make every single interaction with them complete dog shit. It's another big issue we got going on right now.
Just to speak on that from somebody that plays cop and crim. There's some people out here in this community that, as a criminal, y'all are really, really bad to deal with in any perspective as a cop. And it's kind of sad to see, as like being a fellow criminal as a main, like y'all really make us look bad. I understand why the cops shoot us sometimes, because y'all are really, really, really bad when it comes to dealing with us.
Well, that's about all I got.
Thanks, XL. It was noticed, brother. Gunny, I don't know if it's just me, but I think some of the topics we breezed through relatively quickly. Car flipping, I think everybody understood that one. House robberies, if I remember correctly, if an officer is just driving by, that doesn't necessarily mean shoot them on site or immediately, even if they're in your territory, right? Try to figure out what's going on. Take the speeding ticket. It's just me, or I can't hear Gunny anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
No, I was saying, just like I said, cops patrolling patrolling the streets. They turn down your street. That doesn't mean just open fire on them. They're just patrolling. They're not there to investigate anything, or maybe they're there because they got a robbery call. Who knows? But just don't open fire on them just because they drove down, your street.
Right.
Hold on. Locks in we know about the locks in prison. Yes, it's there's issues with them. I know Marlo's fixed them or tried to, and I know G's looked at them, but he's been away for this week. If you walk up to a door, people, and there's the locks on the door and it shows it's locked, but you can still open it. Role play that it's locked. If just walk out of prison because the locks are broken on the back end, it is power gaming. Your fail RP. You're using a mechanic that's broken in the city. So role play it out that they are locked. I know some houses people are saying their locks are broken. Just drive away for out of render range and then come back. They should be fixed. But yeah, so if there's locks broken in the city and they show role play it out that they're locked, or at the prison have go around and put a scene up saying doors locked. If people go through it, then they're fail RPing. So you can do it that way until we can get that issue fixed or looked at.
Literally an interview question. You don't walk through a locked door if it has a clear lock symbol on it and it still swings open.
I'll bring Connor in real quick.
Hey there, everybody. Thanks for letting me chat.
Yep.
Yeah, as far as I know it was a ways back here in the chat, but the kind of Nancy versus EMS thing, like, I think everybody would end up using the EMS versus Nancy, but obviously you don't want to pay like 10 grand when no EMS are on. Is it possible, dev-wise, to make it to where if there's EMS on, Nancy is like a more expensive, and then vice versa, if no EMS are on, can you put like something like that in place? Is it possible?
That'd be a G question. Marley, would you know?
Oh, it looks like Sunderland Kane is saying it might already be a thing.
Yeah, once 2 EMS are on duty, Nancy is disabled, so you can't even use her.
That's right.
Okay. Cool. Well, that answers that. Thanks, guys.
The problem is when there's one of us on duty and we're standing there waiting for people to come in, people run right by us and just use Nancy.
Oh, okay. I mean, could you just disable her when there's one EMS on, or somehow give that toggle control to the EMS?
That's getting into that. It's so situational because I could be the only one on duty and standing there bored waiting for people, or I could be dealing with 15 people,
right?
And I need Nancy's help, or we're going to be there for 2 hours, and then everybody's going to be pissed, opening tickets, saying how long they had to wait at the hospital.
Right. Yeah, it's a tricky balance. Well, I don't know. I'll think on it and see if I come up with anything else.
And the most anyone can ever be charged in EMS, if you go through full surgery and everything and recovery, is $1,300, guys. It's not an insane number. You guys are buying $900,000 Porsches. I think you can afford $1,300 for major surgery.
I guess that's something that we could take a look at, right? And partner with the EMS team and see what the best outcome is, because she isn't here.
Yeah, we could bring it up to you and talk to them about it.
But and then the only other thing is, like, I mean, it's Sunday and everybody's taking their time. Like, I don't know, 88 people plus have taken their time to like put in work and try and resolve things about a video game, and like, it's a pretty sweet server. Not gonna lie, I'm very new, but I mean, I've enjoyed it, so I appreciate it.
Appreciate
you. It almost shot you in the
Which
face the other day.
Is a little sappy, I know, but yeah, no, I mean, that happens. Connor needs some body armor, so.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm all set.
That's something we're looking at. We'll get back.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll think on it and see if I can come up with anything.
All right, that'll work. All right, thank you for your time.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
I'm back.
What's up?
I kind of wanted to touch on something that I sort of saw with XL's topic he brought up, and XL, if I read a little too much into this, call me out on it. When he was talking about like the coke fields, the lab, stuff like that, he's not talking, from what I gather, he's not telling everybody, oh, hey, if you're, 2-3 people doing garbage together and you see somebody walk up, press them. He's meaning like you're a gang doing something that leads to an illegal activity. You're not just going to let somebody walk in on you. You're going to it's an illegal activity, you're going to question somebody who's walking in on you. Like when I was in a group and we first discovered a meth lab, we always had 1 to 2 people outside watching who rolls up, who's going to come in. If somebody tried walking in on us, you were held at gunpoint and told to go the other way, or you would be shot or robbed. He's not meaning press people on civilian jobs. He's meaning press people on criminal jobs, not just anything and everything. Because that happens sometimes when people start talking about pressing people, is it happens everywhere instead of just, you're pressing people for criminal things.
That's right. Your objective as an organized group should be to have or potentially have control over a specific item, right? Or to at least not let other people see what you're doing.
Or, to not let somebody come in and potentially, because
Rob you.
I've seen it before where, you go in as a big group with a lot of items to, let's say, make armor. So you're placing certain things next to a station because you can't carry everything. Somebody could just walk in and grab all your shit and run. You don't want that to happen, so you're going to protect it. And it's also really kind of weird, kind of like XL said, to a degree, to see people that play Civ characters or talk about Civ RP constantly, yet your character is making $1 million doing drugs solo. Why would your civilian character deal drugs? Then you're a criminal. Then, stop saying you're just a Civ every time when something pops up.
It's tunnel vision on money instead of staying true to their character's RP. That's what it boils down to.
That was all I really had. Just put that little chime in on XL's topic. Also, just because I saw it a while ago, people always talk about how there's no way to get anything in RP. Use your Department of Justice. Gunny, Roy, Jenny, a lot of the lawyers, they actually really kind of enjoy fucking with the cops and other people. They'll help you more than you think you will.
Gunny, if it's okay, I can talk about the raising the market and all of that and just how logically it doesn't make sense. I don't know if you want me to or not.
Yeah, you can go. I'm just kind of reading over some of these topics real quick.
Yeah, so when something new rolls around the city, the trend that I've been noticing, and guys, I've been here a lot less than some of you, in full transparency, but I will tell you, raising the prices on a specific item just to get your quick buck while that item is hot or new to the city and taking advantage of it is is not good for anybody. It's not good for you, your organization. It's not good for the community because it'll just get taken away, or you're going to end up oversaturating the market. You're going to fuck it up for everybody. That's my perspective on it. Um, when this latest item came into the city, for some reason, people started raising the price of rubber to 400 a piece. It's not logical to do that, especially if you're trying to keep something like a lab where you manufacture cocaine a secret. Bringing attention to stuff like that doesn't make sense. You're instantly letting the entire community know that something's out there and they should instantly be searching. XL also made a point, and several others in the city, that groups, I'll give a shout out to the Order here actually. The Order keeps their stuff on the low key, right? Only their top 4 or top 3 may know about a specific thing within the city when it comes around. I think a lot of us group leaders need to explore that option as well, right? That way you don't have 15 people picking plants or manufacturing a new drug. In addition to that, you don't need to bring around anybody that's not loyal to you. I will say that because we've seen people that have literally just been affiliated with a group or just came into the city and they're like, yeah, come join us. And they take them to this brand new spot. And then they have 10 friends that join the city and all that shit just spreads. You, as an organization in general, should do your best to not talk about your business to anybody else. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Kelly put this in robberies and burglaries. Um, smash and grabs aren't allowed. Just to remind you guys of that. House robberies, Evangelica, the banks, whatever. Finish the robbery. Don't just grab a couple of items and then leave. Uh, Cars and motorcycles being balanced and stuff. We're always trying to balance stuff, within the city. So I mean, it's not an easy job. There's hundreds of cars that we have to go through. Uh, but we're always looking and balancing stuff as needed.
Uh-oh. Time to move.
I just want to remind everybody that things in the city aren't meant to be attainable in one day of playing. Keep that in mind. Shouldn't be able to buy a mansion 24 hours into the city.
And if you are, there's something going on that we need to investigate.
I'm seeing a few things about the EMS stuff. I don't know if everyone's aware or not, but not every single EMS is allowed to do surgeries or perform surgeries or that type of thing, psych evals. We have a ranking system, guys, and you have to work your way up it, allowing you to do more and more stuff. So not every single EMS that shows up can perform, what you're doing. Sometimes you might need to request a doctor or they need to request a doctor when on duty. It's just part of the process. We can't just send a cadet out and, they pull out scalpels and just start chopping you up in the street.
I mean, you could. That would be a lawsuit, though. A fat one.
Oh, my hand's still raised. Can I ask a question on another topic that I forgot about?
Sure.
So I think I brought it up in one of my topics, but I've noticed it on both Cop, Crim, and Civ. It's it hasn't been as bad lately, but it was really bad for like a week or two. It's really weird when there's a gang fight or a scene going on and we see like something happens, everything goes on, and then here come 5 to 6 other members of groups or even members of groups that aren't involved coming and trying to grab bodies, grab items, different things. Like, do people not fear running into an active situation or understand that part of things? Because that's still really weird to me.
Yeah, no, people shouldn't be involved in active scenes. I think it's even say that cops tell you to leave, you need to leave.
And it's not even like cops leaving. It's like if two gangs are going at it, why would a civilian run in and grab a downed gang member and try and take them away? It's like, wouldn't you as a civilian be more, hey, let me call the cops or something because there's a bunch of people having a gunfight here?
Yeah, you would think. Anybody from staff have anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Sal, Roy, Jerry.
I'm good too.
Don't call on me, Gunny. I'll talk for
Good.
days.
All right, then shut up. No.
I think Excel just brought something up that I think Gunny and Amira, you both touched on before, the whole businesses being untouchable when they start stuff and then not expecting people to clap back when you start something with a gang because you're a business and you think you're untouchable.
I mean, it's a valid point, right?
Yeah.
Just from my perspective.
No, go ahead, Sal.
Nope, sorry, Gunny.
Nope, you go.
Just from my perspective, I mean, it's a valid point, right? You get involved in that gang life as a business owner, you can expect repercussions.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
and it's been brought up too. If you go in a gang war and stuff, businesses can be put up on the chopping block to, if so, say Vinny and Sal go to work. Sal owns, or Vinny owns Burger, or not Burger Shot, sorry, Taco Farmer. Sal goes, I want Taco Farmer. If we win and then he can go, I want $500,000. If Vinny loses the war, Taco Farmer goes over to Sal. So that is possible.
yep, that's what you deal with being a business owner. You can't leave your gang life at home just because you're a business owner. I mean, eventually it's going to affect you in some way.
time out, buddy. I need to serve my food. I'm not part of that gang life.
Hey, man, it happens. I tell people, leave it at home, but somebody comes, it comes. I can't really do much. React the way that you should.
Yep. So if you're in a gang and you own a business, that business can be put up in a war and you can lose it. So
And like another thing to touch on there, like if you're as a business owner go and mess with an entire gang and affect their money in some way, just know that they're going to come to the way that you make money and affect that. So big one to keep in mind.
That is a fact.
One more question, I guess, for like Sal and Vinny that I've seen pop up before. The whole topic and people bring it up in character and out of being a non-official gang, and then they get frustrated when they have fights with people and stuff like that. And cops roll up because they say, "Oh, well, we can't declare a war." What's staff's opinion on that? Because I mean, if you have 4 people that are able to go and fight somebody, you should probably be able to declare a war because you can follow the rule limit on that.
My real opinion on that, not to cut you off there, Sal, but my real opinion is I'm tired of seeing so many little gangs go combine with another gang and make a bigger gang. It's annoying seeing the gangs of 3 and 4 people that, oh, you had 8 at one point and you got to become a gang, but now there's you and 2 other people. Like, figure out something to do with your gang or go combine with one. Because that's a big problem that we see is people are like, oh, me and my buddy are a gang. Well, you got to be a gang.
Yeah, when we look at the official side of things, like officializing gangs, we're really looking at people trying to merge with other gangs. There's too many small ones just trying to find a place, but not. And yeah.
So I guess the
All right.
question there is like, if somebody's beefing with a group and stuff like that, and they want the whole 5-minute leeway thing from cops and stuff, do you have to be official to declare a war? Or if a group feels they can fight somebody, can they open that ticket and be like, hey, we want a gang war?
So I'm really shocked by the inability of people being creative here. It is not hard, and Gunny, smack me down if I'm misspeaking anything here, but if I'm not official and I'm seeking resolution to a recent conflict that I had, I reach out to that individual or that group on neutral grounds and find out what it is, one, that we can do to resolve it. Two, if they're not about resolving it and want to continue it, there's other ways other than war, right? You find a territory and you find their best four and your best four, and you have one good fight at it, and it's done.
Yeah, beef can be beef. Let it be settled.
Yeah. You don't have to go to war just to settle a beef. Wars could be used if both parties agree to negotiate business ownership of products, items, houses, money, weapons, whatever it takes, right? But it is not hard for you to reach out to somebody to settle a beef and say, yo, you bring your best four, Vinny, I'll bring my best four, I'm gonna meet you at your block, and that's it. Or I'm gonna roll up and you're not gonna know it, right?
Mm-hmm. Let me know. Get it
I
settled.
only ask because like I know we had a week there where it was like a group of 3 or 4 constantly going after 4 or 5 big groups, and the only thing you would hear when everyone was down is they're pissed because people are responding to it, arresting, shooting, because it's, you know, not a war. It's like,
Well, that's the cost of being a gang. Don't shoot in the middle of the public and you won't get shot at.
Right.
Be smart. You know,
Especially
you
in a
ain't
residential area.
You ain't gotta kill everybody. You ain't gotta kill all 4. You kill 2 and the cops show up and you can dip. Get out of there. You prove your point. You ain't gotta dominate the field to prove a point. If you want to be standing in the middle of the street and shooting, well, I'm a cop. I'm gonna shoot you back. This is how it is. Can't be shooting in the middle of the street.
If you're really just doing it to prove you're a better shooter, go fucking play COD or Valorant private games against each other, I guess.
Yeah, so crims will have their beef, but cops are still going to keep an eye out on the civilians out there because got to keep the streets safe. So
And-
if there is going to be a gang war, the cops will be notified. But they're still going to keep an eye out.
Yeah, and if you're shooting in the middle of Legion, I don't really care if you're in a gang war or not. I'm probably going to shoot back at you just because that's a residential area with businesses and stuff around.
I think
that point, you're a damn terrorist.
I think somebody said it earlier. I think it might have even been Ray. It's like just because it's a gang block or territory doesn't mean cops have to treat it like everyone there is a gang member. There's still civilians that'll live in a gang territory, and it's still technically the job of a cop to preserve civilian life. So yeah, we kind of have to respond there. Do we have standards and things that we look for when we do or approach with caution? Yeah, but we still have to approach there. I was just saying, I think you made a point, Ray, that I actually thought was good. You know, I thought you made a good point for once. Love you, fucker.
Is there anybody else with their hand up? I can't see.
I think there is. I think one of the EMS has had their hand up for a bit. I think Danny Morris.
Anything else from you, Sunderland?
No, I'm good. You can send me back whenever. I've just been chilling.
Appreciate you, man.
Not.
Ray, for the racing script, I don't know. That's more of a G thing. You'd have to talk to him about it, or even try to find a racing script, or even Marlo. I know they're always trying to find stuff to improve the city. So if there's a better racing script out there, I'm sure Marlo or G will find it.
Yeah, I'm not leaking anything, but stuff is coming. But is it going to be advanced? Probably not, but it's the best one right now. So
I'm gonna race on my motorcycle, Marlo.
I wish more people would do motorcycle races.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's a lot of skill to race on a bike, actually.
You pulling up anybody, Gunny, or you want me to call the next person?
We can finish up these last 4.
I was checking, but now I'm actually not aware. Sure. What's your name? But I have the plate
You
on.
guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. I just wanted to say, from like EMS side, there's a lot of stuff been going on. There was this, topic in town hall for it that's been discussed. What I wanted to say is that I have been trying to hire on more people. The issue is that I'm in a different time zone, so a lot of people will come by the hospital at night, looking for me, trying to get hired or trying to get an interview. If you have your application and you haven't heard from me in a while, just find me in the Discord. Request talk to me. If I don't want to talk to you, I won't respond to your DM. So don't badger me. But if you send me a little message saying, "Hey, I've been wanting to, talk about the application stuff," please do that because it's really hard for me to find everyone that applies. I'm very happy a lot of people have been applying, and I want to get my team bigger and bigger and get a lot of people in. We won't hire everyone, obviously, but we're trying to get the team as big as possible. Last night we had like 9 people on duty, which is great. I've never had that many people on duty at a time, so we're trying really hard to give you guys the best EMS RP we can give you with doctors and nurses, and we're expanding the hospital as we go. So please be patient with us, and come on and have fun with us and enjoy the EMS RP.
What?
Sorry.
Whoa.
Do not.
Thank you.
Tired.
Oh, that's what goes on in the hospital.
I'm tired.
Getting a new doctor coming in.
Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Trying to get everybody to apply there now.
No. Okay, I misspoke. I'm sorry. Oh my god, I'm turning red. It just.
Maybe one more suggestion for you. Maybe give someone else
I'm just gonna
authorization to interview
I do.
at night. So.
Yeah, I have my Lieutenant Cliff, who is authorized to, but also he's also not around every day, obviously. So, if he, if you do find, I'm trying to get more people in Thai Command. So getting people to apply and authorized and stuff like that. So we're getting the team bigger and bigger as we go. But yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
It's definitely growth since the last time you and staff talked. So
yes, I do my best.
That's all we ask.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Hi, friends.
What's going on?
What's going on? I wanted to come in and just touch on something that you're cute. I'm going to see Danny for ERP for sure. We are seeing a lot of people coming into the city right now that are creating some new gangs, which is great. Fresh blood, fresh RP. It's wonderful. What I'm experiencing right now is that a lot of people are contacting Zelda right now for thermite after being in the city for only 3 weeks. We're not sure how any of them are getting her number at this point or even knowing that she sells thermite. But it doesn't seem realistic to approach a stripper and an MC that sells explosives and then get mad at them if they are sorry, I have to stop reading chat. If they are brand new to the city, seeing a lot of people that are established as new gangs trying to go up against all the big established gangs right now, and creating beef with everybody in a week. And then maybe it's going after the biggest dogs to try and like show that you are hard as fuck, I guess. But it's not going to bode well for anybody's RP or for their new group. Essentially, it's not realistic for you to be in a city for 3 weeks and going after the biggest ticket items in the city. And even if you did do that, going after it in a cunty way, and treating the people that even run those types of things like shit, you're not going to get anything. You're going to get annexed from that entire business. Why would you even do that? But we're seeing that a lot right now, and I wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, they should. They need to, like we've talked about. Stuff needs to kind of start being slowed down, like role play wise, not jump into a big. Jump into a big, a big crime right away. And also, I know we've also talked about is we're going to be more strict on gangs. A lot of gangs people are coming in. Oh, I want to start a gang. Uh, you know, G wants to see small gangs start
Mhm.
getting bigger or join other gangs instead of us having 30 gangs in the city. We want to be more small gangs try to get recruit more people or two gangs combined to make a bigger gang. So we're kind of actually slowing down on letting gangs just come in.
Yeah, it's a little RP breaking, and of course, you know, the Lost is a very big group. They've been established for a long time. Um, if you start having attitude with one of their members, they're gonna draw on you. And Zelda's very, very cute, but she's not about people talking down to her type thing. So you're gonna get drawed on, and then if you get drawed on and you then you have attitude about that, like that's a little weird. I mean, you have an entire MC drawing on you, and you're gonna talk shit to like a little girl. That's kind of sus.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for giving me the floor.
Yep, no problem.
Love you guys.
Later.
Less organized gossip, more organized crime.
One thing I do want to touch on that is, yes, it's a big MC, but at the same time, you don't know who's in front of you. So whether that one person in front of you could be very more powerful than your MC, you don't know that. So you still got to keep it in your head that, yeah, okay, I might draw on this person in front of me, might fuck up my chances with something bigger down the road. Always keep it in mind that there's somebody always bigger than you, whether it's true or not. And that goes for crim and cop as well.
I agree. Chum and I had a long conversation about this a couple
Just
days
because
ago.
your roster doesn't show a name on it doesn't mean this person doesn't exist.
Because you think the person's the smallest person in the city, but at the end of the day, they could be the biggest, and they have something that you want, and you just ruined it. So, like I said, like Marla said, keep that always in mind. Jala.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Pretty simply put, always welcoming people applying for the DOJ. We have things up and going, so if you're new to the DOJ scene or law in general, we'll help you out. I'm pretty sure those in the DOJ already know this, but just putting a word out there in case people do want to try lower characters.
All right, thank you. Is that all you had?
Yep, a little bit of advertising.
All right, thanks.
Jaywalking's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Take a second real quick and just get some clarification on something that was touched on earlier. We discussed the no longer taking unrealistic jumps, and if you notice back in the town hall topics tab, I did actually go back and
I've talked to G about this. He doesn't want to see cars flying, 10 seconds in the air halfway across the city. He wants them to be more like realistic, not taking jumps, like I said, that you're just going to clear half the city.
Right, I understand. So will there be a revision to this rule? Because I mean, here it's specifically stating unrealistic jumps. So would there be like some specification and some editing taking place on this rule specifically, so people are within those boundaries, or?
I mean, we can look. Yeah, we can revise it. That's fine. I mean, if we got to do that for people to, to understand it better, then we'll do that.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, thank you. All right. Steph, have anything else before we shut this down?
You know, talk about helicopters being the like the main source of transportation for everybody.
Helicopters are cool, but like seeing them everywhere when like it's kind of hard because like at this point you're calling out this guy. No, it's not calling out this person at all, man. It's just unrealistic to see a bunch of bikers in a helicopter landing in a parking lot with it. It's like you lose your license at that point, and you're not going to be able to fly without getting charged.
I can add to that as well. As I'm not calling anybody out or singling anybody out, but let's say you're going from point A to point B with precious cargo. You're eliminating potential RP factors from 1, the police, 2, from anybody that runs into you, 3, from yourself, and 4, from a group that might try to rob you.
No, it's not just you guys, though. Don't think it's just you guys.
Yeah,
it's not. I see it from multiple groups, so it's not just you guys.
Or I've seen people, flying through the city, like weaving in and out of the buildings, or flying through tunnels, like where the cars are at, down by Zancudo, or up by on your way to Toledo. Who in their right mind is going to fly a helicopter through a tunnel that their cars are driving through, or fly, zigzagging through buildings? You're just asking for a disaster. So I don't know if it's him or not. No, I've seen people do it. I've seen several people do it. But it's and that's their main mode of transportation. They fly their helicopter everywhere they would need to go. I know it's in real life, aviation fuel is it's expensive. You're not gonna just go out there on a whim and fill up a couple $100 and fly around town for the next day or two on that. You're gonna spend $1,000 on fuel to keep the helicopter plane up.
Things should be used as shuttles from yacht to beach, private meetings, exotic trips, not to run down to your local corner store and buy 3 sandwiches.
Yeah, it's not like I wake up and the first thing I think of is pull out this helicopter to go somewhere. They're cool to have, yeah, but you just gotta do better with them, I guess.
Yeah, be smart.
All right, so actions for us is go back, talk about EMS, revisit the potential rule on the jumping, right? The way it's written.
That we'll let you know when release the new gang rule for the 2 jobs that you can do. Have 6 people there once we get EMS, or not EMS. Once we get PD all situated and how to and their SOPs change for that. Once we roll that out, you'll be able to do 6 people for those 2 jobs. Everything else is still the rule of 4. And it's also be like the rule of 6, just for those specific jobs. no more than 6, just like the rule 4.
Now, Gunny, is that for gangs only, or is that anybody that partakes in that?
I would say anyone who partakes in that, you can have up to 6 people.
For these X specific jobs?
Yes.
And like this is not just to be like, oh, because there's groups with big amounts, whatnot. It's like not all the cops are gonna be on when your group is on. Like your 6 people could be on, and there could be only 4 cops on, or 2 cops on. You know what I mean? And then at that point, they're just outnumbered. So it's got to come with each heist. If it's something that's going to be a lot harder, needs more people, obviously we're going to allow it. But there will be stuff down the road that will be done by staff that will allow everybody in the city that allowed to have 6, whether you're official, non-official, you want to be a civ that has 6 friends to hit whatever's coming, try it. Those things will come to bring more excitement, I guess.
Yeah, new planning, new strategies, more excitement, more RP.
But you will know that you can, like, this is something that's going on and you're allowed 6 at this point. No one's gonna, we're not gonna put an announcement out, but like you'll know that shit, I can hit this with 6 of my people.
Yeah, and the key word is my people, not 3 people from this gang, 2 people from that gang, and a person from this gang. Like I said, crimes shouldn't be doing, or gangs shouldn't be doing other crimes with other gang members from other groups. So. But other than that, like I said, with combat logging and NVL, exploiting or abusing stuff, especially exploiting, let us know. Don't keep doing it because, like I said, we'll find out, we'll nerf it, then you guys will get upset. If it's abused, game mechanic wise, or items within the city, G will just take them away or do what he needs to do to balance it out better.
And like this whole week, G's been away. He's like been away with family, so he hasn't been doing anything. And I see comments in like different chats, "Oh, let G do his thing" and stuff like this. Like it's not even him doing these. Like he's not doing any of this stuff. Yes, we removed the drug system because of at that point it needed to be removed. Hate me for that. I made that call. I told him turn it off. If everyone's gonna be shit about it, then here, no one's gonna have it at this point. Will it come back? Yeah, once it's properly done. We tried to roll out something before he left, and this was his exact words: "Is I want to get something out there for the Crims before I leave." We were hoping we had it perfect, right? We're hoping we have it. We can keep these things at high prices and stuff, and everybody enjoy them. But when it went the way it did, it shouldn't. At that point, I almost ran in there with a shotgun and was gonna gun down everyone in there and just rob everybody. And then when the tickets started opening, I would just shut them down. I'm like, yeah, you took a risk on doing something. Sucks to be you. Until people will understand that, shit, maybe I should have handled this a little bit better. Like my whole thought process behind it is like, oh shit, it's coke. Let me run in there and grab a couple action figures, not 100. Let me get in and out. That's all I have to say.
Also, like reiterate, if your Discord name is just your Discord name, make sure you change it to your character's name so staff or someone can find you if they need you.
Hide all you want. We'll find you at some point.
Yeah, it might take us a little longer, but we will find you.
A lot, and I'll keep stressing this, is a lot more people need to take responsibility for their actions. If you're in the wrong, accept it. Don't try to be like a tough person because I got a gang. So let me, press on this because like, oh, this is a little fish in the pond. Nah. You're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. Accept it. And that goes for every aspect in the city, whether it be crim, cop, just driving down the street, somebody hits you.
Yeah, just because you're driving fast and you're driving on the wrong side of the road and you smash into somebody, it's you start blaming them and try to rob them because it's your fault. Take responsibility. Other than that, flipping cars, repairing your cars during the middle of a chase, or fueling them. And just the medical RP. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else.
Cowboys are ass.
They're 3-1 and 2-0 in the division.
They're still ass.
They are. How's your team doing today, Marlo?
Don't talk about that, okay? My fantasy team is doing amazingly, okay?
Oh, I didn't. That's what I was referring to. I didn't know you had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steelers all day, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, no, fuck you. Get out of here.
Whether they're 0 and whatever, I don't care. All day, every day.
Aren't they
Steeler
1 and
Nation.
4?
I don't care. Steeler Nation.